We'll see if I remember what there is to remember over here. He says, "V'zecha b'mashu mitzatz b'kuntras acher." So this he says somewhere else. Ravaya Rishona she'im ekya tehiyah b'milku yudin like this, yudin da'av. V'Ravaya Hashenis, the second Shenis, she'im Elokim, that goes with Elokim, he disag. V'Shlosha Shlishis, so then the she'im adni hu havaya dama. So we change the havaya each time. Also, V'Shlosha havayos elu. So if you add up the gematrias of these three, elu atzman. Hem shetikaven memilas lahadlik, and you have a gematria here come to the mita of lahadlik, shuhu begematria av sagma, which is 180, and lahadlik is 179. I assume they're going to say that it's a kolel, and it makes 180 also. So lahadlik is to bring the flow of the asam down. Umin akya, so he says that from the akya, shebechiber bavaya the av the yudin. So also you're going to make that into a milui. Gam hi yihiyecha b'milui yudin, also going to be milui yudin. Shu kasa, which comes to the gematria 161. So you can take v'im havaya atzbach, which is av, put the two of them together. Yihi shnecha b'gematria rego. They'll come to the gematria regel. Now I see these other places. It's in Kriya Shemala Lamita. I know that we get to this same combo. The Ramos, he says, because it's a reference here, he says, Ki Gam Chanukah Nikra Regel, it's like a regel like other ones. The Klau Moadim, in all of the holidays, it's also considered to be a regel. Kenitzker B'Kasivis Yad B'Hakadamas Etikunim. Okay, that was over there. Let me get a drink. 1 second. Okay. So we'll look over here in the Tiva Kavanos. Starting in the middle of page Kaf Tes, the right column, the middle of that column. V'im Havaya Atzma, which is V'im Shem Havaya Atzma, as we mentioned before. U Havaya Deva'ekya. Shuhu b'milu yudin she'ola av yihir shenecha b'gematria regel. So 161 and 72 comes out to the gematria of 233. So what does this mean? So he wants to say simple. Yihir shenechem hainucha b'vaya da'av ve'ekya dekasa. They're going to come to the gematria of regel. That was just as said da'av v'kasa ola kaminian regel. Now what does that do? Let's go to light print. He said, Yichud zeh havaya da'av ve'ekya dekasa. When you put those two together, what do you get? You get dekasa, shemekuvana bebracha rishona oilacha kaminyan regel. It comes to the gematria of the word regel. L'remuzki Chanukah hu Yom Tov. Let you know that it's a holiday. Well, Yom Tov. V'kal kol Moadim, and you should put that Yom Tov, or that concept, in all of the rest of the Moadim. The Nikro Regel Meloshin Raglayim. Now, the feet. So he may have something to say about that later, or maybe now. V'bechina zu ha'Chanukah yoser ma'ula mirosh chodesh. It has a higher level of Kedusha than Rosh Chodesh. Shechein Nikro Regel, because it also has this combination that goes along with it, which makes it into a Regel, Masha Ein Kein B'Rosh Chodesh, which we don't say about Rosh Chodesh. Kanizka B'Ksivis Yad, we'll just go through, I think we'll do this one. Sifat Yad Kanizka B'Tikuni Zohar. Chodesh, he says, Shebechanukah B'Chlal HaMoadim he, because Chanukah is in the category of the Moadim. Now, let's see, I think I had something to look at over here. So let's start with, let's start with number Yud Ches in the Shefa Kavanos, and we'll just see if there's something we can draw from this. So he says, Yihu Shnechem B'Gematria Regel. Lomerki Gam Chanukah Nikra Regel. So this is the shot that basically wants to say, I don't want to say what, or maybe I'm just looking too hard. He says, HaKavana zu isa, in the Pri Etz Chaim, he says, Agam, Begavanas HaMikveh, Shel HaRegalim, so also the Kavana that you have when you go to the mikveh during the Regalim, Shechayev ala the Tachar Atzma Beregel, V'HaKavana the Kavana for this is like this, Al Yidei Shemos Avkasa. So this is apparently the combinations that you use. Actually, I probably know them. Ha'oil regel, which comes to regel. Gam sarach iyun, what about what? Lama lo kosav l'kabe gebishar yom tov sag. The name sag ve'eser osius hamilui, and then the 10 letters of the milui, shuhu kaminyan yom tov. Yom tov? I'm not sure. Yom Tov is 16 and 9 is 25. I'm not sure what he meant there. Osios HaMilui, so just taking the Milui, I guess, it comes to gematria of 25. Let's go on. What did he tell me there? I'm not sure. Okay, so he said number Yud Tes. Number Yud Tes says, Ki Gam Chanukah Nikra Regel Mechlal HaMuadim. So what does that mean? Chanukah Nikras Regel. So it's called a regel. You could see that internally it's a regel from the gematria. But I think we read this already. Even though in Rosh Chodesh you have the same situation, she gets a direct pipeline into her. But with all of this, we find Rosh Chodesh yesh carbon mosaf. There is something else extra here, though, which has a carbon. Ubapachana ain't makrivim mosafim. We don't have mosafim now. The Lagabe bechinis mosaf Rosh Chodesh ediv in that regards ad Chanukah v'dok. So okay. But he didn't tell us anything else about that. It's just the fact that we know that they have different qualities. Okay, let's see. I think there's a number Kaf here. Kenisker b'ksivis yad b'hakdamas atikunin. So he writes Bizman shel Morchu Vital. So he writes it like that. The Morchu's name like that. At the time of the Morchu Vital Zalashona, lo hoyu Sifrei Zohar Chodesh v'tikuni Zohar b'Chodesh Mudfasim. So there was no published work there. Now this is the time of the Marchul, which is what in the 1600s. Lo Hoya are the late 1600s. I don't know exactly his dates. You should probably find out. Vital lo Hoya Sifrei Zohar Chodesh v'tikuni Zohar Chodesh Mudfasim. They weren't printed. So therefore, he brings us just pointing out something. He says he's bringing handwritten. So let's take what this Tikuni Zohar says, and let's see what it says. It says Tol Chazi, Elun Moedei Hashem. These Moedim. Now he's talking about Oslim. Al Tekundach the Gufa de Malka Kadisha. So they go in regards to me misaking the Gufa of the Malka Kadisha. So exactly what he meant by that when he says Malka Kadisha, does it mean Zeranpin? Does it mean the Nukva of Zeranpin? The Inun Pesach. So now let's look at the Tikkun that takes place during that time. So the Inun Pesach, these are, one is Pesach. Pesach represents the Droa Yumida de Malko. So now I think he's talking about Zeranpin. Let's go. V'dah Chesed. The V'ginei, so it Yamin Makareva. So in regards to that we have a statement that says that the right line draws one close. Rosh Hashanah, the row is smaller, so then we know this holiday has to do with the left arm. The Malka, the Gavura. So this is the meat of Gavura. Beginning Itmar, because of it, Itmar small, a small docha. The small pushes away. So the right side brings you close, the left side pushes you away. Shavuos, da gufa de malko, that's the body of the malko. What does he mean by that? V'da teferes amuda dem zeisa. So Shavuos, he says that Shavuos is the middle line. He said, and now he goes to Chanukah, Purim, Elun, Inun, Trin, Shokin, de Malko, they represents the two legs of the king. And that's a Chanhod. The Alihu Sharim Nes, the Alehim are, I guess, the Malko, his languages, the Alihu, on them, Sharim Nes, and a Nes comes down. That is, I don't know much about that, but we've seen it before, is that Netzach and Hod actually have something to do with Nisim. And then we say these are the statutes. Trin Pekudim Vadai, there are two. What does that mean? The beginning who it bekadati, because in regards to this it says like this, I will certainly appoint. I'm not sure what that means. Trin Nevim, Trin Mishichin, Inun Vadai. So there are two Nevim. I don't know. It means one is Netza, one is Hod. Trin Mishichin. I think Mishichin means one of the two separate flows. Inun Vadai, Ad Kan Lashono. Shemana as Chanukah Purim B'klal Mordei Hashana. So at any rate, that conversation that we're having there incorporates these two holidays, Hanukkah and Purim, together in the same kind of idea. A lot of okay. Let's go on. So we'll read in the Tivah Kavanos now. Let me find a place. Here it is. Page Lamed. So he says like this. Ba'amnan bekuntris adam acher mitzasi, I found this. Ki bebracha b'rishonu shel hadlik. Okay, you're on that bracha. She'omer baruch haTorah avaya. Yikaven shezu avaya he da'av the yudin. So when you're doing this, you have the idea that the havaya you're working with is that, and maybe atach memarchul zal. Masha malza od bekuntra adam acher. Yesh the kavim and shlosha yechudim sheniz ba'arol le'el. B'shlosha brachos shel halakos ner. These brachos. He said ner Chanukah. Shebebracha rishona shel lahadlik ner Chanukah. Ba'amar bruch haTorah Hashem yekavim b'Hashem havai b'milu yudin. The oven looks like that. So then he said, "V'tekavim l'chaber himachot gam ekya the yudin." So now we're working with yudin. Now we're going to bring an ekya down. Now, greater examination of the letter yud would fortify this a little bit. But at any rate, let's go on. Yekavim l'chaber im havaya the milu yudin. So have this idea. We're going to take the havaya the milu yudin, which is and the shem ekya the yudin kazeh, and he shows it to us. V'shneichen b'gematria regel. Now we just heard a little drush on that, something like that. So he says they go to the gematria of regel. V'zer v'sod adjatiklo regel minashuk. And this is the secret of that phrase, which says how long should the lights need to last, or was it that, or is that's the time you have to light them? Zeh sod adjatiklo regel minashuk. Hanishimeirim atacha arish nei shemos elu. V'harasam gedoyla ad ma'od. Actually, the insight or the consciousness that it brings is tremendous. V'alkein I efshar lahamashichul zaman rav. So therefore, because of its benimis dika quality, you can't really, it can't shine a tremendous amount of time. Rak ad shetichlo regel minashuk, and it can only shine until people aren't walking around in the streets anymore. So let's do a little bit more. Now this is the second bracha. I'm going to say that the milui is different. This, which is sag, it's very similar to av, but it has an aleph in the vav. Instead of vav yud vav, it's vav aleph vav. So it's like this: yud ke vav ke. V'chaber imo shem Elokim, and just take the name, the Pasha, the name Elokim, Gematria 86. V'chaber im Sag, and put it together in Sag, imavaya the shem Elokim Pasha. So he said, V'lechein, so he says, now, I'm really looking for how it works, what the mechanism that makes this go together, but he's saying the facts, so I'm always looking too far ahead or something. Now, why is that? But that's what he says, and I probably have to maybe add up the gematria, the nekudos. Hoil v'mechaver im Havaya Shem Elokim. The Kavan did not get gam as a Havaya b'nikud Elokim, so make the Havaya with the nikud of Elokim too. The Hainu Chatav Sego. This little corresponding deal right here that we have right here is actually the number 50 plus the number 20 gives you the gematria 70. But I don't know what to do with that. So anyway, the Hainu Chatav Sego Cholim Chira Kazeh. So that's what you would have. Let me see if I think we're okay. We're still okay. So, so in the bracha of Shehachayanu, you have and we only say this one time. So ma is really I don't know why we only say it one time or why that's what it is. At any rate. And then he shows it to us. Then it says finally, so take this ma, put it together with adni, and what you get is 45 and 65 is 100. What is 110? Bebracha shehechiyani is boyer imachavayim the ma shem adni. Nimseki b'pekol bracha yesh b'chavaya kavana acheres, that every bracha has a different kavana. Chayda b'bracha b'shona yikavan av kasa, b'bracha shniya you have sag elokem, b'bracha shal shlishis yikavan ma adni, you should have in mind of this one. V'nishach b'yomim she'ein omrim she'achiyano, so he says, and all the rest of the days, when we don't say the she'achiyano, I'm b'sidr rishashim, maybe the kavan gam shem mav adni bebracha hashniya. Okay, so that's some idea there. Now, I think we're on number Kaf Aleph. Let's see how much time we have here. A little bit. So let's see what it says. Number Kaf Aleph, if it says so, I should take the regel min shuk. Now, did we do this? We didn't do this already, no? Lo pirish arav gavonas gavanasa. What's he trying to get at? It be remizas lashon chazal. I should take the regel min shuk. What do we actually get out of that? I'm not sure what he means. So over there we said like this is what it means. The kaven de regel romes al ha'ara gadola. I don't think I saw that in the tip, but it says it's referring to a really large light. So therefore you can't keep it going just a tremendous amount of time. This bar hate b'pri eitz chaim, it's well explained in the pri eitz chaim. And what does it say over there? Is el b'zal l'shon v'da ki anem adlikim ozorim im shkiyas achama. That's when we light it. Ki oz he midas lila, because that's when we say shkiya. That's nighttime. V'hi yoredis lamata, and it goes down lower. What does going down lower mean? The we have this idea that when it goes down lower, it means outside, to going to an outer universe, a lower universe. So this argument I'm not familiar with. So he said, Loma Shemin B'Techilas Alada, that from the very beginning of the light, you're already in Olam Abriya, you're not allowed in Netzia anymore. I don't know this argument. Val Etzem Ha'inyan Sarach Iyun, so what's really going on here, you have to look into it more. Why? Ki L'chera B'Chanukah, Ein Anu Omrim Klal Tikkun Rachel. We don't say on Chanukah Tikkun Rachel at all. Now Rachel, so he's going like this, he's thinking, Rachel is the one that goes down into Bria. It's Yitzira Nasiyah. She's the one. But we don't deal with Rachel in this holiday. Shehein ha'inyan sherachel yeredet bebria. That's not what goes on here. Kamol b'kol hayamim shehein omrim nefilas apayim, like other times when we don't say tachnun. Now, 1 second more. Ein anu, I'm going to read again. Omro klal tikun rachel. Ma'achar shehein ha'inyan sherachel yeredet bebria. We don't have that idea which we have in the weekdays. Kamol b'kol hayamim shehein omrim nefilas apayim. So she goes down, I guess. Even if you don't do nefilas apayim, let me see. So how do we write? What were we talking about when we said that the nuk goes down into bria? El habriya v'leyitzira v'le'asiyah, the seis terf the pesach v'chachlan rosel. So that's the reason why going down. V'oz ana mamshichin lo oson ha'oros shehoyu l'chalamalos, and now we bring her the lights that she had, that he's talking about, I guess, the Nuk of Atzilus. So he says all the lights, Shechoyu L'Chalamala, that she had when she was in the Pneumistic position of Atzilus, Olefi She'ikar Hamshacha Ki Me'osa Ha'or, so that in the main place that this chef is coming from, HaNivshach Alecha Min HaRosh, that's coming to her from the very top. Now, he's losing me a little bit because I don't know which Rosh he's talking about or the Rosh, but let's say Shehu Havaya Ekya, which is that beginning Havaya of Ekya, whether we have it Miluyim or how we see it. Kikashahem Elayim B'Yudin, so you see they have a lot of Yudin. Shehu Havaya Ekya, which is Havaya Ekya, with all these Yudin. Kikashahem Elayim B'Yudin, Aim B'Gematria Regel, so that we're failing before that they come to Gematria Regel. Now, this has to do with the power of this yud, but I'm not sure what it, but she's telling you. So the light is not able, so the read ve'ein ha'or hazer yochel laham shechalach, it can't come to you, el zaman moed. Okay, you only get it for a moment. L'chein gan mitzvahs adloko eino el zaman moed, so therefore the time when we do the halacha, the hadlaka is going to be a small time too. So he says, this is the pshat. The amount of time that you're able to actually be able to sovel this light is achetechla regel min hashuk. Hashuk heim ha'olamos ha'tachtainim. That's what it means. It takes it while this light is going, it's penetrating the lower worlds. Until this Rishimo, or where we get the word Rishimo here, Minha or, so until it's finished, that little bit of light, he says the Rishimo, or the impression of the light, Minha or, from this light, Shanimshach Acharecha Lamata Ad Makoma, that continues on afterwards until it reaches its proper place. I guess it's the world Sia, where we are. Okay, so that's what's going on over there, and that's going on as a result of using these shiluvim, these different combinations. Number Kaf Bet, V'yichaber imo shem Elokim. So that's the one where he said that it's going to be a Sag and Elokim Pashut. So he says that Yichud the Rishon shal Chavaya Ekya. So that first Yichud, cost of the Kavin as Shema Savaya Malayim B'Milchu Yudin V'Eluch. So in other words, everything could be in a Milui. V'Eluch Kan B'Yichud the Sheni, but when you come to the second one, he said it became B'Chemshach of the Varim the Gavach B'Yichud the Shlishi, cost of the Kavin rock as Shema Savaya B'Milui. But whereas the other side, ve'elecha b'shem Elokim, but the name Elokim b'yichud hasheni, v'shem adni b'yichud hashlishi, lo kasev l'kavanot b'mizgui v'yesh l'ayin b'tam hadavar. So we should be looking in that. Okay, let's see where we're at time-wise. Okay, we have... Huh?
Nope.
That's it, we're out of time. Okay, that was the end of that time. That is it. That was the shir for today. Try to keep going on, getting better.